They won't tell you this, but true confidence doesn't speak first. It doesn't explain. It doesn't warm the room. It watches and lets the silence do the bleeding. The world has taught you to pretend, to act like all is well. Smile wider, talk faster, overcompensate harder. But those who truly hold power never chase the spotlight. They command it without trying. Machiavellian confidence is not loud. It's not cheerful. It's not performative. It's surgical. Still, calculated. It walks into a room and shifts the temperature. Not with volume, but with presence that feels like a blade beneath the surface. Most men are told to just be themselves. But men who are feared, obeyed, and desired, they don't find confidence. They build it, brick by brutal brick, through control, rejection of weakness, and total inner authority. This video isn't for everyone. It's for the man who's tired of watching others lead while he stays silent. It's for the man who's ready to become untouchable, not by noise, but by dangerous calm. Confidence isn't when they hear you, it's when they feel you. And shut up. Are you ready to rewrite the script? Are you ready to become confidently dangerous? Hit that subscribe button right now. Like, comment, and share this video to help as many people as possible. First, you have to understand the lies you've been told about self-esteem. The myth of self-esteem. You've been lied to all your life. Confidence today has been sterilized, packaged into books and slogans that tell you to believe in yourself, love yourself, affirm yourself. But Machiavelli would smirk at that, because confidence that must be affirmed is already dead. Here's the cold truth. The world doesn't care how you feel about yourself. It only responds to what it sees, and what it sees is how you act under pressure. Self-esteem is an illusion. It's a modern comfort drug, an emotional pacifier for men too afraid to build real power. Confidence in the world of Machiavellian men is not an emotion. It is a strategy, a weapon, a posture forged in fire, not granted by journaling or feel-good therapy. What most men call confidence is really a disguise for permission-seeking. They need others to validate their worth before they take action. They wait to feel ready before they speak, move, lead. And in that waiting, they lose. Machiavellian confidence is the opposite. It does not wait, it does not ask. It executes, coldly, efficiently, without concern for emotional weather. It is born from competence, control, and emotional detachment. You earn it, not by telling yourself you're worthy, but by mastering your environment, silencing internal weakness, and proving, day after day, that no one else deserves the crown. Confidence is not a feeling you generate. It's a signal you emit when your actions say, "I don't need your approval to dominate." And this is the problem. Men have been taught to seek confidence like a prize rather than build it like a fortress. But the Machiavellian man sees confidence as a byproduct of conquest. He doesn't try to feel powerful. He becomes powerful and lets that silence the room. If you're done chasing validation and ready to build a confidence that no one can shake, subscribe. This isn't therapy, it's transformation. And it starts now. Watch till the end for your own good. Next, we will unleash the 5 Machiavellian strategies that will make you dangerously confident. Strategy 1. Rewire your identity through ruthless self-respect. A man who respects himself doesn't need to perform. He doesn't need to be loud, liked, or validated. He walks into a room like he owns it, not because he does, but because he answers to no one. This is where true confidence begins. Not in hype, but in ruthless self-respect. You become dangerous when you hold yourself to a code and never explain that code to anyone. Self-respect is not about liking yourself. That's emotional fluff. It's about discipline to your own standards, even when no one's watching. It's the refusal to break your rules for approval, applause, or comfort. Machiavellian men don't just set standards, they enforce them with zero compromise. They don't care if you understand their silence, their absence, or their intensity. Because their code was never written for you. It was forged in solitude, tested in pressure, and locked in blood. When your inner king rules, no peasant's opinion matters. That's not arrogance, that's sovereignty. Most men crumble the moment their values are challenged, because those values were never real. They were borrowed from society, from trends, from weak mentors. But a man who has chosen his values and bled for them will never collapse under external weight. He doesn't chase respect, he doesn't ask for it, he radiates it because he's already paid the price. And when you carry that kind of inner weight, people feel it. They may not understand it, but they'll sense it. And in a world full of men trying to impress, a man with ruthless self-respect becomes untouchable. He's not dangerous because he's violent. He's dangerous because he has nothing to prove and everything to protect. So ask yourself, do you operate by your standards, or do you bend them when pressure shows up? Do you remain grounded in silence, or do you explain yourself when they challenge your pace, your style, your stillness? A Machiavellian man answers to one court, his own. And when you rule there first, the world follows. Strategy 2. Train discomfort into your nervous system. Confidence isn't built in comfort, it's forged in the fire of discomfort. Repeated, endured, and conquered. Most men run from stress. They avoid hard conversations, cold environments, public speaking, physical pain, risk. But here's the truth. Every time you avoid discomfort, you vote against your future confidence. You don't become dangerous by avoiding tension. You become dangerous by rewiring your nervous system to interpret tension as fuel. Machiavellian confidence is biological before it's psychological. It's not a mindset, it's a nervous system that has seen chaos and stayed calm. While average men live in avoidance, strategic men expose themselves daily. Cold showers, high-stakes communication, physical exhaustion, controlled confrontation. Not because it's trendy, not for validation, but to teach the body that discomfort does not equal danger. The man who's comfortable in chaos becomes unshakable in peace. That's the real armor. When your nervous system has been trained to stay still under pressure, no insult, mockery, or failure can break you. You won't flinch, you won't react, you'll calculate. And that's what separates a powerful man from a performative one. Confidence isn't about never feeling fear. It's about acting with total control in spite of it. Watch a cold man walk into a room. His movements are slow, his breathing stable, his presence heavy. He's not pretending, he's practiced, and his nervous system has been inoculated with discomfort so often, nothing surprises it anymore. Most men try to build confidence through positive affirmations, but the Machiavellian man builds it through stress exposure. He doesn't just read about battle, he prepares for it by walking into tension on purpose. If you want to be the kind of man who remains composed when she tests you, when a boss challenges you, when your plan collapses in public, you need to have died to comfort and resurrected with composure. There's a reason lions are calm until it's time to strike. They've ruled in discomfort their whole lives. Confidence is not given, it's earned through exposure to pain and a decision not to run. Start now. Micro discomforts daily. No exit, no complaint, no dramatics, just repetition, until your nervous system treats stress like oxygen. That's when people start calling you calm, confident, unshakable. But it's not magic, it's exposure. It's earned. And once that calibration is set, they can't rattle you, even if they try. Strategy 3. Control the social frame or be crushed by it. Confidence doesn't live inside you, it lives in the space between you and others, and that space is ruled by one law, the frame. In any interaction, someone is setting the tone, defining the rules, controlling the meaning. Either you control the social frame, or you're at its mercy. Most men walk into a room and instantly adapt. They scan for approval, they match energy, they chase comfort. In doing so, they surrender their frame, and their power evaporates. True Machiavellian confidence starts where most men end. It begins with the assumption that your perception is reality, and others will either accept it or get disoriented. Frame is the invisible battlefield. Win it, or you're just another pawn. To master the frame, you don't need to dominate with volume or ego. You control the game through silence, timing, presence. When they speak, you pause. When they joke, you don't laugh unless it's worthy. When they posture, you lean back, not forward. Confidence is directional. It's not loud, it's sovereign. You decide what's funny, what's serious, what matters. And here's the key: the person with the strongest frame never reacts. Reactivity is submission. The Machiavellian man keeps his composure even when he's challenged, because he knows the one who frames the moment owns the moment. Let's break it down. Someone mocks you, you don't react. You redirect. You stare, pause, and ask, "You done?" Frame taken. Someone brags to flex superiority, you let silence sit. Then respond with a story so casual, so sharp, their ego quietly deflates. Frame hijacked. You're interrupted. You don't fight for space. You reclaim it with stillness and one clear sentence. Frame reset. Confidence collapses only when you let others narrate the interaction. But when you assert your own tempo, rules, and gravity, they orbit you. Remember this: in any social space, there's always a dominant frequency, and people sync to it unconsciously. If yours is grounded, clear, and cold, they'll adjust. If yours is uncertain, needy, or apologetic, they'll dominate. It's not about being aggressive, it's about being non-negotiable. You walk in as if the outcome is already known. You speak as if time bends for you. You lead the energy like gravity leads the planets. And if someone tries to wrestle that from you, don't fight. Just remind them, with calm presence and piercing silence, "This is my frame. You're in it." Strategy Rule 4. Weaponize your word. Confidence isn't just body language or eye contact. It's language, and most men speak like they're asking for permission. The Machiavellian man doesn't use words to connect. He uses them to cut, carve, and conquer. Because every word you speak either builds your authority or buries it. One sentence of truth spoken with precision ends 1,000 words of noise. Watch weak men talk. They ramble, over-explain, apologize. Their words are a fog meant to soften their insecurity. Now watch the dangerously confident man. He speaks with cold articulation. He says less, but every word lands like a blade. Economy of language is psychological dominance. If you speak with hesitation, people feel it before they hear it. If you speak with precision and pause, people lean in. You're not seeking their approval, you're forcing their attention. This is how to weaponize your word. 1. Say less, mean more. Don't decorate your sentences with fillers. Every extra word is a sign of insecurity. Cut until only steel remains. 2. Drop the upward tone. Weak men make statements sound like questions. The Machiavellian voice ends in certainty. Flat, calm, final. 3. Speak slower. The man who rushes is begging to be heard. The man who pauses is already being listened to. 4. Kill the fluff. Never speak to be liked. Speak to be remembered. If a sentence doesn't carry direction or damage, don't say it. 5. Never explain yourself. Machiavellian confidence means moving like your decisions are already law. Justify nothing. Own everything. People will test you, interrupt, challenge, mock. The weak respond with volume. The strong respond with calculated stillness, and one cold line that resets the entire room. Example: they laugh and say, "You really think that'll work?" You don't argue. You don't react. You look them dead in the eye and say, "It already is." Then go silent. Power doesn't need paragraphs. Words are not for validation, they're for impact. So make your speech a weapon, not a performance. Because when your voice becomes surgical, your presence becomes undeniable. Strategy Rule 5. Move with calculated stillness. Confidence is not always seen in motion. Sometimes it's seen in refusal to move. Weak men fidget, twitch, pace. Their body leaks uncertainty before they even speak. But the dangerously confident man? He moves like a predator. Slow, deliberate, silent. He's mastered what Machiavelli would call calculated stillness. It's not laziness, it's lethal timing. Stillness is dominance that speaks without moving. Why does this work? Because motion reveals motive. But stillness forces others to project motive onto you, and that ambiguity creates fear. When you remain still in chaos, people assume you know something they don't. They slow down, they recalibrate. Suddenly, you control the rhythm. Here's how to radiate this kind of control. 1. Stillness under fire. Never react to tension. The more pressure rises, the slower you move. This disorients your opponents. It tells them you're not afraid because you've been here before. 2. Minimal gestures. Don't flail to be heard. Use one gesture, one slow turn of the head, one glance, and let silence fill the space. That's power. That's presence. 3. Pause before action. Before entering a room, stop. Breathe. Before answering a question, pause. Let them wait. The world obeys the man who makes it wait. 4. Unbreakable posture. Chin slightly down, eyes locked, spine straight. Whether standing or sitting, you become an immovable object, like a lion surrounded by hyenas, watching, calculating, calm. 5. Predictable rhythm, unpredictable intent. Move like clockwork, but strike like lightning. Your confidence grows when others can't read you. Stillness doesn't mean passivity. It means holding your power like a coiled serpent. You don't waste energy proving strength. You reserve it for when it matters most. And when you finally move, it's surgical, devastating, final. Because nothing screams dangerous like the man who doesn't flinch under fire and doesn't speak until it's too late to stop him. Confidence isn't a feeling. It's not hype. It's not adrenaline. It's a weapon. A cold, calculated force forged through self-respect, discomfort, control, and silence. It's sharpened every time you say less, move slower, and dominate the frame without a word. You don't pretend to be confident. You become so dangerous, so composed, that people feel your presence before you even speak. Confidence isn't a feeling, it's a weapon. Forge it, sharpen it, and they'll feel it before you even speak. Subscribe if you're done performing for approval and ready to become the kind of man no one dares to question.